Ciao mamas. I've had a couple of you guys, actually a lot, um, over the course of the last 8 months. My baby Ivy Rose, she's almost 8 months, asked me like for tips, right? And I totally thought I was gonna do this video like a long time ago, but here I am today. So I'm gonna share some tips, or at least the tips that I remember of just a little bit of everything. So if you're watching this video, you're probably still pregnant, right? And one of like the things that has helped me so much, I had a huge belly, and I mean like a huge ass stomach since she was 4 months. So it was like very heavy, and I kept practicing yoga until like a couple of weeks before giving birth. So very heavy stomach, and sleeping was so uncomfortable. Okay, we all know that. And what helped me so much was to like put a whole bunch, I mean like a whole bunch of pillows behind me, under my arms, and under my knees and my legs. And I was sleeping like this, basically. So kind of like sitting, laying back. And that's the only position that was comfortable enough for me. Um, but disclaimer, we're all different mamas. We're all gonna raise our kids differently. We all have different beliefs. And so, take what you like, leave what you don't. I'm kind of a natural freak. Like for me, it's really important that everything's as natural as possible. Like I don't use normal deodorant, because when you breastfeed, then the baby smells the chemicals, then screams for hours, and you don't understand why, but it's because the baby has a headache. So I'm like kind of freak obsessed of making sure things are as natural as possible. And that's why I really love using the essential oils that allow me to clean my house, disinfect everything in a natural way that leaves a really good smell that is benefiting me, rather than all of that toxic shit. Anyways, so sleeping during the last months of pregnancy was a big deal. I also had a bit of sciatic nerve, which sucked, absolutely. And thank God I was using this cream, Deep Blue. If you guys want to know specifically what it is, where to get it, go ahead and message me. It's Deep Blue cream. I don't have it here in the room with me, but fantastic for any muscle pain. But for the sciatic nerve was absolutely amazing, because already being pregnant is heavy and hard, and you don't need pain. In fact, they make us think that like vomiting and like swelling and bad circulation, the society makes us think that that's normal, but it's not normal. All of these symptoms that we have in pregnancy is showing us a hormonal imbalance, right? And the absolute two major glands that we absolutely need to keep in balance, especially in the last months of pregnancy, is our thymus gland, right? Which is gonna regulate whether we're gonna have milk to feed our baby or not, right? And you wanna have milk to feed the baby, right? And we also need to make sure that our whole reproductive system, all of those hormones are balanced, so we can have a simple labor, fast, and no need for C-sections, etc. Speaking about C-sections, actually, I think it's important to remind, especially for who's in America, like, why does America have so many C-sections, for example? So when you're there, the nurses are telling you, or they used to a lot, say, hold your breath for 10 seconds and then push for 10 seconds. Okay, cool, but let's observe that. If you hold your breath, in fact, you never hold your breath in pregnancy. You should never hold your breath, right? Oxygen needs to like continuous flow to the baby. But if you hold your breath, especially during labor, your heartbeat slows down. Automatically, baby's heartbeat slows down, but not because there's a problem. I mean, like, yeah, there's a problem. You're not breathing, right? And then all of a sudden you have, oh, we need to do an emergency C-section. The baby's heart is changing. The heart rate's changing. It's like, yeah, its heart rate's changing because you're telling me to hold my breath. And then you just throw me into a C-section, which is a whole bunch of trauma for the baby. And already hospital births are traumatizing for the baby. And you go to see that in the next few months of your baby's life. If they're crying, if they're irritated, if they're nervous. Me personally, I did a home birth, and my child is an indigo child, completely calm, brava. She's like just great. She's been sleeping the whole night since she's 1 month old. It's just like a blessing, but it's not her that's special, right? I went to make sure that I wanted a baby like this, because I didn't want to stop working. I didn't want to stop teaching. So I needed a calm, amazing baby, which she is. And to make sure that I can, just be, I did it mainly for my mental health and for her mental health and for my relationship with my husband, because a lot of relationships break in the first year because you don't sleep and you're sleep deprived, and You don't want to see how bad people start behaving when they don't sleep good, right? So for me, like having her be as calm and as meno traumatizzato, as less traumatized as possible was important. But just keep in mind this thing of the breath, right? So definitely prepare your breath for labor, your controlling of the mind, the controlling of the pain, and don't feel like a victim. You're not a victim. It's you and your baby going through this race together to get to that goal. Don't feel alone, especially with the COVID restrictions, etc. Maybe your husband can be with you, maybe he can't be with you in the hospital. That's another reason why I did a home birth, because I wanted my husband there the whole time. I didn't want any complications regarding that. And so what did I want to say? Absolutely do not hold your breath. Work on your breath, work on your meditation. Don't feel alone. It's you and your baby doing this together. And let me take a moment to tell you how painful and hard it's going to be, because I feel like we don't talk about that enough. Okay? I was shocked. I'm like, it hurts. Okay? You know, you got like a big thing moving through a small thing. Yeah, it's elastic and it opens, but it hurts like a motherfucker. Not kidding. So be prepared for that. Know that, you know. Don't be like me thinking it didn't hurt that bad. It hurts. And the pain doesn't stop afterwards. Then you got the placenta to come out. Then you got the lower back pain. And then you just got like, you're broken all down there. And now you got a baby to hold in your arms for months to go. So it doesn't stop there. But that doesn't mean it's not beautiful, because it's beautiful. And it is incredible what our bodies can do. It is incredible what you can do when you believe yourself. If you have to give birth, not giving birth. It is incredible what you can do when you believe in yourself and when you support yourself to move towards success. My home birth was honestly beautiful. I did it in the water. She came out in the water. It was long. My labor was 15 hours. It was 15 hours. And it was strange, because from the first contraction, it just continued every 3 minutes for 1 minute for 15 hours. Like, I had no breaks. And that was tiring. And I actually induced my labor by myself. On the 40th, I got to 40 weeks. And I used clary sage essential oil from doTERRA. And I started massaging it into my pressure points that you use, which is, there's one here, you know, when baby's not coming out. And then there's here, 4 fingers above your ankle bone. There's a soft spot here. You know, you just massage that. You have the pressure points. And I kind of wanted to see if it was going to work. And it usually takes about a week. And if your baby's not ready, doing this won't help it. It only helps stimulate when baby is ready. And yeah, I started Friday, the 20th of November in the morning. And I went into labor Friday night. So it works. Okay, so we're talking a little bit about labor. Breath. Me personally, this is my consigli, my, how do you say in English? My tips. Try your best to bring your music with you. Be in a warm place. Be in a dimmed light place. Be calm around people you love. Maybe just your husband or your partner, whatever. That they're caressing you. That they're massaging your lower back. That you feel cuddled. Because in order to have a proper travaglio, a proper labor, your oxytocin levels need to go up. How does oxytocin work? You need to feel loved. You need to feel safe. You can't have a whole bunch of doctors coming in and a whole bunch of lights on you and being all worried. Baby's not going to come out, right? And labor's already long. It's already painful. Let's not make it more painful. Get in your doggy style. Get in your yogi squat. You know, like giving birth like this, right? If you lay on your back, it takes longer, more painful. If you get down and push, you know, and I didn't understand this actually while giving birth until like the last moment when I was able to push her out, but you kind of got to push her out, like literally. I was leaning back because I was hiding from the pain because it's painful. But once I understood, in fact, my doula, she's like, you know, get down there. You got to curve yourself. But yeah, you kind of know, and there's going to be a moment and you're going to be like, I can't do this. There's going to be a moment that you're going to think that you can't do this. So know that already. There's going to be a moment that you're going to think that you can't do this. That's normal because we've never done this before. And it sounds pretty fucking impossible, you know, to push out a baby from down there. But you can. You absolutely can. Listen to your breath. Calm yourself. Practice that mind control. And you can do this. And honestly, what helped me push her out in the end, I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. You're gonna come out now. So you're gonna come out, like, I wasn't actually trying to push her out. I was just trying to cope with the pain until I realized my doula was like, okay, honey, it's time to bring this baby out, you know? And I'm like, you're right. It's time to bring this baby out. I was just like waiting for it to come out by itself. That's not the case. You need to push the baby out, and not just push. You need to like, push. You'll see. Anyways, so baby comes out. Okay, let's not fast forward. The head of the baby comes out, the most painful part. Head of the baby comes out, and you're like, oh, there, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, can you feel the hair? And I'm like, I don't feel shit. I still feel her inside of my stomach. Get it out, you know? Like, oh, can you feel this? I'm like, I can't feel anything. It's inside of me. And then they're gonna be like, can you feel that it got lower? Oh my God, it's coming. And I'm like, it's still inside of me. I will feel it when it is outside of me. Funny moments. Anyways, head comes out, take a breath, wait for the contraction. As the head is coming out, it's not a fast thing. I don't know. Head comes out, contraction, head kind of comes back in. Head comes out, and then head kind of comes back in. It's a long process. Head comes out, kind of comes back in. Head comes out, stays a little bit out. Head comes out, and then goes back to where it's before. Head comes out, stays a little bit out, and then it finally comes out. So with all the videos I watched, I totally thought it was like a bam, head comes out. No, okay. How to not tear while the head's coming out. Don't push unless you have a contraction. So it's really hard, but stay still, breathe between contractions while the head is there. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I did that for the first part, and then there was a part of me, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I don't care if I'm gonna tear. I'm gonna push the baby out. And I just kept pushing. I didn't tear. They say to not push. I didn't tear. I did like a lot of oil, a lot of coconut oil around the vajayjay before labor. Like the whole month prior was just like, you know, getting it moisturized, getting it nice and elastic. You can even like have your partner help you out with that if that's what you want. But I just used oil externally. And so I pushed. Me, personally, it was worth it. You know, I was like, basta, push. And then the next push baby came out directly onto the chest. And it was just amazing. I was like, holy shit. First of all, holy shit, this baby was inside of me, because I had only seen her in black and white in the ecografia, I don't know how to say in English, in the ultrasound, right? So I saw like this person thing, and I was like, oh my goodness. And wonderful. I was happy. I'm like, finally I did it. And then I start feeling this really, like, a lot of back pain. I'm like, ow. I was on my couch. I was like, ow, you know, this hurt. What is going on? She's like, oh, the placenta's coming. I'm like, what? She's like, okay, now start pushing. I'm like, push? Again? What? What are you talking about? It's not over? And I knew, like, the placenta had to come out. But in that moment, I thought it was done. It's not done. Placenta comes out. She was really kind. She helped me, pulled it out. It was awesome. And baby didn't latch right away. She was just, you know, like, kind of like, whoa, you know, where am I? And then, like, after a couple hours, she wasn't even hungry, no rush. And she attached perfectly, because I really made sure, like, I worked on those bija mantras, made sure that heart chakra was in balance, to make sure that the milk production was good. So I had a lot of milk. I still have a lot of milk. And yeah, so baby's out, all good. Now let's talk about like the first 2 weeks after birth. My doula came every day for a week to massage my uterus and to make sure that it would shrink back down to space, in the proper space. Hey baby, we got a baby that woke up. We got a baby that woke up. Dad, good morning. Hi, John. Yeah. We got a baby. Now she's big. Say hello. So look at my crazy hair. Hello. So she was born 4 kilos. Pretty big. And so I was saying, what helped me, I want to speak about 2 things. One, what helped me, I ate a lot of nuts. I ate a lot of cashew nuts and a lot of peanut butter jelly sandwiches. That, like, I felt like those nuts really, like, got me power. And like directly, my first meal after pregnant, peanut butter jelly. I'm like, can I have another one? Can you make me another one? Like, peanut butter jelly. My husband was like, you want some food? I'm like, peanut butter jelly. And so what really helped me with her, and this is all information that I got from my doula. She's been doing pregnancies for 40 years, complete expert and updated to what's modern. So she said only to dress them in lana, which I'm pretty sure is wool, right? Like cashmere. So in cashmere or wool. Why? Because they make us believe that cotton is better, but in fact I had the evidence afterwards. Cotton keeps the baby wet, which gives your baby like more colds, etc., and it doesn't keep them that warm. Whereas the wool or cashmere helps it breathe. So babies in newborns, they don't sweat. It's just their lymphatic system learning how to sweat. So they don't sweat when they're hot. There's no hot and cold, and there is no hot from them. They come from a place that's 37 degrees. So that's why we have to keep them warm even when they're born in the summer. Fussy baby comes when they're cold, right? They just came out of a 37 degrees place, 37 degrees Celsius. So we want to keep them, and then gradually within the first 3 months, bring them to whatever temperature you're having in your place right now. So I would dress her only in wool, and always kept a hat over her head, which kept her like really calm, because it helped her feel like she was still in the womb. In fact, the goal is to replicate the sensation of them being in the womb, because you don't want them to feel they're already like in this strange place now. You don't want to stress them out more. Some people use wraps around the babies. I didn't use wrap around her because she was a quite calm baby because I had a home birth. But I would put pillows around her to make her, because they have muscle spasms. You'll see, it's like, muscle spasm. And if they don't find anything to touch, they start freaking out, right? And they also feel like they're falling backwards. Kind of like us when we sleep, sometimes we feel like we're falling. But if you surround them by pillows, and don't worry, your baby's not going to suffocate if you don't want your baby to suffocate, Yes, your body, they turn their head a lot, so you're not going to put a pillow right here. You don't want to put a pillow next to their face. I'll put in a picture later. You want to put a pillow over their head and a pillow next to their arms. So when they move like this, they're caught together. And then, everyone has their own beliefs, going to do in their own way. I have a perfectly amazing, calm Buddha child. And so these techniques really worked for me. And using the wool, because when she would sweat, it would dry directly, and she didn't get like colds and things. She's had one cold in these past 8 months, and I just put some essential oils on her, and a day was gone. So yeah, really important to have them like feel like they're cuddled always, and hold them on their chest. If you do put them in a strap, not to put them like this, because their spine in the first 3 months are not ready. So you would strap them onto your chest in a position like this, because their spine needs to stay in a C shape. I have a couple of videos on YouTube teaching how to bring your baby to the bathroom. I took her to the bathroom on day 2 of life, which is basically this position here. Boop. When they're smaller, you grab them from under their feet, and she poops. You can put her on the sink, on the bidet, on the toilet. When she was a little bit bigger, I would hold her like this, and I would just sit on the toilet, and she would poop and pee in the toilet. She does pee sometimes still in her diaper, but she doesn't poop in her diaper anymore since she's 3 months. And I started potty training her properly at 2 weeks of life. And by 1 month, she was sleeping throughout the whole night. She just turns her head like this when she wants to eat. I mean, she'll cry if you don't get the first message, but as soon as she starts turning, she's looking for the boob, right? So, you hear them, because you don't sleep really good in the first period. You're like, are they alive? Are they breathing? And you would just feed them, and she would never wake up, which was amazing, because we got to sleep really good always. And because one of the main reasons that babies are crying during the night is because all the farts, they fart a lot. All the farts they have and all the poop in they've never felt this digestive system moving, right? So they're kind of scared in the beginning. So if you make them poop, it just all comes out in one, and they don't have to like poop while they're laying down and their legs are all tied together. It's uncomfortable. And when you do take them to the bathroom, always at half boob. So they eat a bit, then you take them to the bathroom, change the diaper, and then you have them eat, like finish up eating. Because when they eat from the boob, it activates the digestive system, so it's easier for them to go to the bathroom. And it's pretty awesome, because she hasn't pooped since she was like 3 months in her. Even when I go to work, I started working, she was 2 months old, teaching yoga, and she would wait for me to come home to poop. Pretty cool. So don't really have a lot of diapers to be clean and poopy. Obviously, I would recommend the cloth diapers, but I started working full-time when she was 2 months, and she would stay in the strap-on, and I would just teach yoga like that, or teacher training courses. So I had a difficulty in staying behind washing and things like that, but if you're not working and you're at home, absolutely the cloth would be better. Usually when she's home, I just leave her without diaper, now that she knows how to pee and poop in the toilet. And yeah, those are like the only things that are coming to mind right now. Don't stress about your body. It's gonna be really different after birth, you know, and don't try to go back to your old body. Just try to create your new body, you know, and give it time. By breastfeeding, you will lose weight. I started getting back to physical exercises at when she was 2 months. And I even started running actually, which I always hated running, but I felt like the need to like move a bit. And I have to say essential oils have helped me lose a lot of weight in a healthy way since I'm breastfeeding and I can't do like extreme detoxes, etc. I was using the lime and the grapefruit essential oil every day, and that's helped me quite a lot to come back to similar to my body of before. And that's it. If I probably have a whole bunch of other tips, but I feel like those are my important ones right now, which is like, you know, eating nuts afterwards to make sure you feel strong, preparing yourself for labor, knowing that birth is gonna hurt a lot, but not that doesn't make it bad. You know, there's a lot of bad birth stories, and I feel like we let those overwhelm us because we don't really speak so much about the really good birth stories. And if you are interested in a home birth, I absolutely recommend it if your doula recommends it as well. And yeah, have fun with it. Create that bond with your baby, and like don't feel like you're doing it by yourself. Like, okay, honey, let's do this together. Help mama out, you know, come out, you know, have that dialogue. And be patient. Be patient. The last period is the longest, but be patient. Get massages. Massage your uterus after birth. A little bit, tiny bit painful. I mean, like nothing in compared to this, but definitely helpful for making sure it gets back into place. And that's all I have to share. If you have questions, let me know. To all the mamas that are going to see this, congratulations. Congratulations. Be in peace and your baby will be in peace. Sometimes I notice absolutely when I am off balance, when I have not meditated, when I am not aligned, I have sometimes this fussy baby. And I'm like, why are you being so fussy? It's like, she's not being fussy. I'm making her fussy. I'm off balance. I'm out of tune. My chakras are off and they're making her in consequence. So any sign your baby is going through, it's always you that's going to be passing that vibe to them. So if you're chill, if you're calm, if you're loving, if you're cuddly, they are too. And just know that the first 3 months, it is not normal for a baby to cry. What do I mean? They only cry when there's something that's wrong. When they're cold, when they're hungry, when the diaper's too wet or too doo-doo-y. And so it's always like a, what do you want? Oh, you're just crying just like this because babies cry. No, babies don't just cry. They're telling you something. So try to put yourself in a position, especially, I feel like men have a harder time with this. Try to put your husband in a position that's like, don't be like, oh, you know, listen to me, what do you want? It's like, no, wait, what are you trying to tell me? How can I help you? How can I help you be more comfortable? What is it that you need? And that's what I have to say for now. See you guys soon. Let me know if you have messages. You know where to find me. Bye. Ciao. Say ciao. Say ciao ciao. Ciao.